Hi, it's Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we're going to take a look at an excellent method of debloating and personalizing your Windows 10 or Windows 11 experience. I think this is going to be very beneficial, especially seeing that it is coming up towards the end of life for Windows 10. So for those of you that are possibly considering migrating over to Windows 11 and you want a less bloated and a less intrusive experience, more like you would get with Windows 10, I think this video is going to be very helpful to you. Now we're going to be using a tool called Rytunex, which is available on Github, or you can use the Winget command to install it. The choice is entirely up to you. If you do install it from GitHub, downloading it, you will get a message saying that the file is unknown and you will get a Windows Smart Screen notification. So if you want to avoid all that, then you can just use the Winget command, which is what we're going to show you in the video. So with all that said, let's head over to the computer and take a closer look. So here we are on our Windows 11 desktop, and we're on the GitHub repository for Rytunex, and this is all open source, so you can check all of the information should you wish to. Again, if you want to, you can download it from here, but what we're going to do is actually we're going to use the winget command to actually install it. And in order to do that, we want to get a command prompt or use the terminal, whichever you want to do, and we're going to right click and choose run as administrator, and then click OK for user account control. And then in the box here, what we want to type in is winget, then a space, install, and then Rytunex, and then press enter. It'll start downloading it, and you basically have to agree to all the terms and conditions. When you're happy, type yes or Y, and then press enter. And then it'll go ahead and download it from the GitHub repository. This will take a little while, so just be patient, let it do its thing. It's a relatively small file, around about 90 megabytes. When it's finished, you'll get the prompt back up, so we can close this window, we don't need this anymore. Now, if we go back down to the start menu, we'll see that Rytunex has been successfully installed, so we can click on that. And again, you'll get user account control because this is making system level changes. Click yes, and then this program will start loading. So the first thing to do, obviously, if you haven't already, it's always a good idea to do a full computer backup of your system, because you never know, you might make a change which affects the system's performance or availability. So it's going to ask you if you want to create a restore point, and if you don't want it to show that again, you can click on that tick box there. We're going to let it do that, so we'll click on continue, and it's going to create that all-important restore point. So with this, if you want to, you can roll back the changes to the system as a working point before you got here. So the restore point has been created, so now we've got the menu system and all the setup. So let's full screen this so we can see it a little bit better. So it's actually quite a nice layout. So first of all, on the opening screen, it'll show you things like your CPU usage, RAM usage, etc. And it might also be worth taking a note of some of these and also the installed apps and processes, etc., just so you can see what your system is like before and after. If you want to take a screenshot, you can do the Windows key Shift and S to create a screenshot, or use the print screen key. That way you've got a permanent record that you can remember from. So on the left hand side, we've got the home screen, optimize, repair, debloat, which is one we're going to be mostly concentrating on. We've got our privacy section, features, networking, security, and also device. At the bottom, you've got report, support, and settings. So if we go into settings, we'll set this to dark mode to make it a little bit easier to read. In this section, you've got the option to either import or export optimizations. So once you've done your optimizations, you can export them to a JSON file, which you can then load on other computers. Just if you've got multiple PCs, you can reload the same settings to save having to do the manual thing multiple times. Also, you've got the option here, which is really important, is to revert all changes. So that's basically going to get rid of everything that we've done, and also it will remove that restore point that we created. So that is actually a really clever thing to be able to do. We like that. So let's take a look at some of the options we've got here. So we're not going to go through in massive depth, but with these you can either toggle them on or off. So there's loads of optimization options you've got here. So you can get rid of things like autocomplete, background apps, disable mouse hover time. I would suggest just going through, reading each one and seeing which ones you actually want to do. There's going to be some which are going to be more beneficial than others. So again, just read through the explanations, which is actually really good. A lot of these optimization programs don't have this information at the bottom. So it just shows you like disable unnecessary services. Well, what the heck does that mean? So it just says there what it's actually going to do. So yeah, again, you can go through, toggle those on or off. things like compressing your operating system if you want to. If you've got limited storage space, you can check it, you can compress it or decompress it should you wish to. So yeah, there's loads and loads of options there to go through those at your heart's content. Some other settings as well. Disable system restore, you probably don't want to do that because you just created a restore point, but things like disable Cortana, we can turn that on because we don't want Cortana. And also you can do things like disable store updates, automatic updates. So for those of you that are on Windows 10 and you don't want your system updating to Windows 11, you could maybe use this one to disable automatic updates. So loads of options there for optimization. I'm not going to go through that in much more depth. We've also got the repair section. So this is actually handy if you've got a system which is misbehaving. You can use the DISM commands to try and repair your Windows image. Also you can use SFC, which is the system file checker, and also check disk, so you can go ahead and tick those if you want to. Click on scan, repair, etc. Those choices are entirely up to you. Also, you've got options for battery health, memory diagnostics, also disk optimizations, and also the event viewer, so you can read things in your event viewer. So again, handy tools to have for repairing your system. The one we're more concerned about at the moment, because this is a relatively fresh install, is the debloat section. So in this, it's going to show all the apps which are installed on your system, which you may or may not want to get rid of. Also, quite a handy thing as well, you've got the option to remove the temporary files, so you can go ahead and do that. Always worth deleting temporary files because you never know how massive that file is getting. It seems mine's getting quite big, so it's taking a little while. So whilst doing that in the background, we can look at our programs to see which ones we want to get rid of. So things like Clipchamp, if you want to get rid of that, just tick it. I'm just going to just go through here and see if there's anything that I don't particularly want. Again, you can be as ruthless or as conservative as you wish on these. Things like Bing News, Bing Search, definitely want to get rid of that one. Bing Weather. Some of the game assist things you might want to keep if you use Xbox Live services. So, but if you don't, you can get rid of those as well to have a very, very clean system. You can also get rid of Microsoft Edge. Don't do this unless you've got another browser installed, because otherwise you won't have any access to a web browser, which will be a real pain. Things like the Microsoft Office Hub, you can get rid of those. The Solitaire collection, don't really use that. Sticky Notes, don't really use that, so get rid of that. Again, just go through and get rid of things that you don't necessarily want. Again, you don't have to be particularly ruthless. The choice is entirely up to you. That's the beauty of this. You do have that user selection, so you can kind of get rid of a bit things that you don't want, keep things that you do want, or if there's something you're unsure, just leave it the heck alone. So again, things like the Windows Store, if you want to get rid of that, you can do. Terminal, Winget, Source, ideally you want to keep those, I guess, but again, it's your choice. Microsoft Your Phone, that's a pain, get rid of that. Zoom Music, never really use that, tend to use VLC, although I don't think I've got it installed quite yet. Things like Microsoft Teams, that is a pain, don't really want that. OBS I use, obviously. And yeah, that is going to be pretty much it, I think, for this particular installation. Don't really get rid of a lot, just some of the kind of more optional or unrequired programs. So just tick the ones you want to get rid of. And then when you're done, scroll back up to the top and you can click on this bit here, uninstalled selected apps. So we're going to click on that. It's going to tell you what it's going to debloat. It says you're about to completely remove the following apps from your system. So it gives you a nice list. When you're sure, click on continue. Do have a second check just to make sure there's nothing on there that you do actually want to keep. Click on continue. Of course, we did do the system restore, so if need be, we can always restore back after. At the very bottom, you can probably just about make it out. There is a little process bar which tells you what parts are actually being removed. So that's pretty nice. Gives you some kind of visual representation. And again, it's told you what is debloated. That'll disappear shortly. Or you can click on the X button and then it'll bring up the list again. So our list has been somewhat condensed. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. That's pretty good. So the next bit is going to be privacy. Now again, privacy is going to be one of those things which is a key thing for Windows 11. For users of Windows 10 going to Windows 11, I think this is going to be very useful for you. So again, you can be as proactive or conservative with these as you wish. So just read them, and ones you want to get rid of, get rid of. So advertising ID, we'll get rid of that. Bluetooth advertising, might as well get rid of that. I don't really use Bluetooth on this machine. News and interests, not really keen on that either. Spotlight features, so that again on your lock screen, that is what downloads a picture every time from Microsoft and says, do you want to know more about this image, etc. Again, you can get rid of that to protect your privacy. Tailored experiences, so you can get rid of that as well if you wanted to. I'm going to leave that on there. Cloud optimized content, again, disables cloud optimized content. This may include app updates and file syncing. This can reduce internet bandwidth, but may limit functionality. So again, if you're not sure or you don't want to get rid of it, just leave it alone. It's absolutely fine. Again, if you do check it and it turns out to be something you don't like, then you can always use the system restore to turn it off. You've got the feedback notifications there. So get rid of that, not really keen on that. Telemetry services, obviously that is going to be something which is a big thing to a lot of people. So we've got a whole section here for telemetry services. So we'll turn that off. Edge telemetry will turn off pretty much all of these. I think the NVIDIA telemetry is actually one which is actually quite intrusive. So it's worth doing that one. Chrome telemetry, we'll get rid of that. Also Firefox, I don't use Firefox, but it gives you the option anyway. The activity feed, again, we'll get rid of that. And customer data platform, we'll get rid of that as well. Diagnostics, get rid of that as well. And also that one, we'll get rid of location features and also biometrics. And then we can go down to the other settings. So these are going to be ones which are more kind of useful for some people. Disable automatic restart sign-on. You've got disable handwriting, data sharing. Again, if you want to, you can just choose all of these, disable all of them. Things like the clipboard synchronization, that is actually one you probably do want to turn off just in case you actually get some information into your clipboard and it's held online or in the cloud. You never know what could happen to that as well. Message syncing, that sort of thing. So yeah, go through and choose whichever ones you want to. Also things like disabling SMB, so that is a pretty bad thing. So you really want to get rid of that. And also disable SMB version 2. That entirely is up to you. Most people will tend to use SMB 3 now as it's safer. But again, it's probably going to be disabled as default, but go through and decide what you want to do. So when you're happy, you don't have to do anything more because those are done immediately. And if you want to undo anything you've done, you can just click on the toggle and it will turn those features back on. So that is an on or off setting. So you don't need to click on anything to actually enable or disable it. It's done straight away. So you don't have to kind of install or reinstall. So that's absolutely excellent. So you've got loads of features there. Next one, you've got the feature settings. So again, a little bit of it is going to be for the actual look and feel of Windows. So you can get rid of some of these things. So getting rid of the compatibility assistant, the print services, the home groups, etc. If you've still got home group, hibernation, you can stop that. The verbose logon, you can get rid of that as well. You can enable the Windows dark mode overall, Windows transparency, all those kinds of things. So lots of things you can go through. Disable my people, sensor services, Windowsing. Again, go through these and decide which ones you want to use or not. And also we've got some which are exclusive only to Windows 11. So you've got the enable end task, that's actually quite useful. So that will be on programs. If they're running, you can right click and choose end task on the bottom. You can move the taskbar to the left if you want to. So for Windows 10 users coming over to Windows 11, having your taskbar in the middle here rather than being on the left could be a little bit distracting. So you can choose to move that across. Snap assist as well, widgets, all that kind of stuff, chats. Again, go through this and get rid of whatever you want to. One of which you probably do want to do is here at the very bottom. So this is the disable Copilot AI. So we'll get rid of that. Don't particularly want that, so that's great. Again, these are just toggle on or off, so you can turn them on or off at will. In networking, it's got some information about your network, so you can go ahead and change your DNS settings if you wanted to. In security, it just tells you what is going on. So threat and virus protection is enabled. Basically, all of these pretty much should be enabled. Maybe Windows Update you might want to disable. That is entirely up to you, but all those are active. And if you go to device, it will tell you about your system, and also you can set up a driver package. So if you ever want to back up your system or reinstall your system, you can have all of your drivers ready nice and easily. Information about your storage, your RAM, graphics card, processors, etc. And also your version of Windows, battery health, etc. So yeah, that is pretty much it. I think most people are going to be probably into the optimization section, maybe the debloat, possibly the privacy. Again, there's lots of options in here for you to go through at will. And again, if you've got any problems or you've got any questions regarding any of these settings, you're more than welcome to reach out to us on our Discord, or alternatively leave a comment in the comments section and I'll try and answer any questions to the best of my knowledge. So I think we're pretty much done with that. So when we're finished, we can just close the program. It doesn't need to stay running in the background. And if we take a look at our taskbar now, Yep, all looks pretty good. Not a great deal going on here, and pretty much not many programs on there at all now. And again, we probably might need to reboot before it takes effect. No, Copilot has gone from our start menu, so that is yeah, that's absolutely great. And if we type anything in here, yeah, Copilot is gone from this top section as well. So again, for those of you who just want to remove Copilot, that's the only thing you want to do. This is actually a really good tool for that. I don't think it's going to remove it from Word, Excel and all that. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't got those set up on here, I don't think. But anyway, for those of you who want to clean up your system, I think this is a very, very good solution. If you want to see more content like this on a daily basis, maybe consider hitting subscribe and also that chime notification. That way you'll be notified of future video releases. But for now, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.